Welcome back. Senator Rand Paul released a new video slamming YouTube for censoring his discussion about how cloth masks don't work against COVID-19. N95 masks are the ones that really work. Watch Senator Paul.
Censorship by YouTube is very dangerous as it stifles debate and promotes groupthink, where the truth is defined by people with a political agenda.
Back with us now, a member of the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus, Congresswoman Mariannette Miller-Meeks. Congresswoman, it's great to have you back on. Why would YouTube censor this?
I don't think YouTube should censor it, and I disagree with President Biden's comments that our social media outlets should be looking to censor and deplatform what they consider to be disinformation. We don't want information to go underground. We want it to be out in the open. We want it to be discussed. We want to be aware of what's being said. You can't counter disinformation if you force it underground. In addition to which, science is a debate. It's a discussion. It's a dialogue. It's a back and forth. And that's how you prove scientific theories. You conduct an experiment, you have a hypothesis, conduct an experiment, and then you repeat that experiment. So I think that when the CDC came out with its most recent guidance and the House reimposed mask mandates, they actually said to have a an N or KN95 mask. So that's the mask that was recommended to us, not a cloth mask. So I think that, Senator Paul, Dr. Paul's discussion is perfectly appropriate, and we should, in fact, be having that discussion and that dialogue and that debate.
All the senator was doing was citing studies saying most of the masks we get over the counter don't work. They don't prevent infection. N95 masks work. What's your take on YouTube censoring Sky News Australia for their coverage of the pandemic?
Again, I think it's inappropriate. It doesn't allow for us to be able to know what information is out there, to hear information, and then have a discussion and a dialogue. It's very anti-science, if you will, because science isn't the suppression of ideas. Science is how we build upon knowledge, our awareness of knowledge, and then it is always an interchange, a dialogue. For instance, I can remember when I first was in nursing and medicine that peptic ulcer disease or gastric ulcers were thought to be type A personalities and due to stress. Well, it happened to be individuals in Australia who pointed out that it could be a bacteria. It took them 20 years to convince individuals in the scientific and medical community that that, in fact, was true. And now our treatment for peptic ulcer disease is drastically different. So if we suppress information, we never will come to a true conclusion of what is, number one, best practice, what's the appropriate treatment or treatment protocols. And especially with this pandemic, what we do today is the precedent for how we treat the next pandemic. So it's really important that we have these discussions.
The former Homeland Security Secretary under President Obama, Jay Johnson, he said that the internet and social media are, quote, the biggest danger because of misinformation about vaccines. Ken Burns, a documentary filmmaker, called Facebook, quote, an enemy of the state. You also have numerous studies, New York Times, Washington Post, saying people are getting misinformation about vaccines, mostly from the internet and social media, that's where the majority of the misinformation is coming from. What's your take on that in light of what you were just saying earlier about you don't want the White House acting as censors here?
Well, certainly. I mean, do they think that it's going to go away if they suppress all this information on the internet? If the information is on the internet and it's visible for everyone to see, then we can counter that information, misinformation. We know what's being said. I mean, I will have people, I think all doctors have been in the position where patients will bring in reams of information or studies off of the internet for them to discuss with their doctor. If we don't even know what's being said, we don't know how to counter that information. So I think it's important that it's there, it's out in the open, we're aware of it, so we can discuss it with individuals and patients.
Congresswoman Mariannette Miller-Meeks, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you on.
Great to be on with you.